Get ready, explorers of the natural world, for a journey where every ripple and rustle tells a story, where the air and water can be kept in perfect harmony, and where our feathered and scaled friends reveal secrets about the health of our planet. This is so much more than just a journey. It's an adventure into our wetlands and waterways and understanding the delicate balance of life. Let's paddle on. Ooh, watch out! We're skimming in for a landing. Today we'll be excited and fascinated by more mysteries of the waterways. We are travelling with our treasured indicator species, birds and reptiles. These delightful aquatic indicators provide their unique history and charm, and are also an ever-present lens in which to learn about the health of our habitats and water systems. There is something ancient and sacred about the flow of fresh water. It nourishes life, sustains ecosystems and connects species in ways we're only beginning to understand. As humans, we often forget that we're not the only ones dependent on these waterways. Hidden in the rippling creeks and shadowy wetlands are a whole cast of amazing reptiles and birds who are crucial indicator species. They silently monitor these delicate ecosystems with their very being, giving us clues to the quality and health of our waterways. These creatures aren't just inhabitants of these environments, they are the very pulse of the ecosystem. They offer us glimpses into the unseen changes happening beneath the surface. In the murky silence of ponds and rivers, reptiles move with a deliberate grace that speaks to their deep connection with these waters. Reptiles by nature are sensitive to subtle environmental changes. They've evolved over millennia to thrive in a balance that is easily tipped. And when that balance begins to wobble, when pollutants creep in, when the water warms unnaturally, or when habitat is stripped away, these ancient creatures bear the brunt of it. Consider the painted box, snapping and mud turtles who have watched the wetlands rise and fall through the centuries. With slow growth and even slower reproduction, they are deeply tied to the rhythm of the wetland. Freshwater turtles are indicators of wetland health because they are what ecologists call long-lived integrators. They accumulate pollutants like PCBs and mercury over many years. Their tissues become a living record of the environmental stresses that have affected the water, like pages in a history book written in chemical bonds. When scientists study turtles, they're peeling back the layers of time, 40, 50, even up to 100 years old. Let's look at the spiny, soft-shell turtle, elegant yet vulnerable, that thrives in the sandy bottoms of rivers and lakes. They too serve as sentinels for habitat health. When excessive sedimentation clouds the waters, often caused by human activities like agriculture and deforestation, the softshells are among the first to suffer. They need clean sandy environments to forage and nest. An increase in sediment not only blocks out sunlight, disrupting the aquatic plants that support food chains, but it also smothers the softshell's hiding spots, rendering them vulnerable. By observing where these turtles thrive and where they disappear, we gain insight into the effects of soil erosion, runoff, and the changing structure of freshwater ecosystems. Careful! Watch out! A slithering water snake darting through the shallows in search of prey. What's your story? Your health is inextricably linked to the availability of fish and amphibians, creatures that are themselves affected by the water's oxygen levels and pollution load. Water snakes, like the northern variety, are perfect bioindicators because they rely on stable aquatic food webs. A collapse in fish populations due to algal blooms driven by agricultural runoff signals trouble for the snakes. When fish die, the water snake's numbers dwindle, painting a grim picture of what happens when we allow nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus to flood into our waters. And we won't forget the true ruler of wetland ecosystems, the American alligator. Though often perceived as resilient apex predators, alligators are profoundly affected by changes in water flow and contamination. They create deep pockets of water that become vital refuges during dry seasons, small ecosystems within ecosystems. These gator holes support entire microhabitats. But when water levels drop too far or pollutants poison the wetland, the alligators abandon these pockets, leaving behind ecosystems that wither in their absence. Scientists study alligator behavior, and breeding patterns can detect subtle shifts in hydrology, giving us a warning about the long-term consequences of human interference. Herpetologists continue their crucial work studying our sentinel gator species. Key issues in broader environmental contamination include bioaccumulation, endocrine disruption, habitat degradation, climate change, and the effects on biodiversity and ecosystem health. Now we gaze above the shimmering waters to our freshwater birds dotting the surface and painting the sky. Like reptiles, birds offer a glimpse into the unseen workings of an ecosystem. But birds tell their stories differently, through their migrations, their feeding patterns, and the fragile eggs they lay in hidden nests. Take the common loon. Its haunting calls echo over quiet lakes at dawn, a sound woven into the fabric of wild places. Loons are bound to the water. They dive, plunging deep beneath the surface to catch fish. But their health is tied to the quality of that water. Toxins in air currents or deposited in water bodies from industrial emissions accumulates in fish. As loons feed, they accumulate these toxins too. It seeps into their nervous systems, impairing their ability to dive and reducing their breeding success. Scientists track mercury levels in loon populations, and their decline has led to stricter regulations on mercury emissions. In a way, the loon's song is a call of the wild, and it's a cry for help, a signal that our industrial footprint is reshaping even the most remote ecosystems. We must also honour the osprey, a master of the skies and waters alike. Ospreys are remarkable because of their nearly exclusive diet of fish. If you follow an osprey's flight, you can trace the health of rivers, lakes, and even ocean estuaries. Ospreys were once driven to the brink of extinction by the pesticide DDT, which thinned their eggshells and devastated their populations. The story of their recovery, thanks to bans on harmful chemicals, illustrates how sensitive these birds are to toxins that enter the water. Even today, ospreys act as a living gauge for the health of our fisheries. Their nesting success can plummet when fish populations are threatened by overfishing or polluted waters. In this way, they guide us in our understanding of food chain dynamics and water purity. And who doesn't know the wood duck, with its stunning iridescent plumage? They also tell a tale of freshwater systems. Wood ducks rely on clean, tree-lined wetlands for their nesting sites. The presence of pollutants or habitat destruction can result in the loss of suitable nesting grounds. The intricacy of their relationship with their environment extends beyond water. Wood ducks require mature trees with cavities for nesting, making them indicators of both terrestrial and aquatic ecosystem health. When wood duck populations decline, it's not just a loss of beauty, it's a signal that forested wetlands, which act as buffers against floods and water contamination, are being destroyed. And let's not overlook the great blue heron, a patient predator that stands statue still in the shallows, waiting for the slightest ripple. Herons are the sentinels of freshwater marshes and lakes. Their diets, fish, amphibians, and invertebrates, place them high on the food chain, where they are especially vulnerable to bioaccumulation. When toxic chemicals make their way into water systems, they magnify as they move up the food web. Herons ingest these contaminants and, like a mirror, reflect the invisible poisons circulating in the water. When heron populations begin to decline, we must ask ourselves, What has seeped into these waters? How have we allowed the poisons of industry, agriculture and urban sprawl to penetrate these once pristine habitats? Reptiles and birds, though diverse in form and function, share a common fate with the waters they inhabit. They are both witnesses and victims of the environmental stresses we impose: pollution, habitat destruction, climate change. They tell us in no uncertain terms when we've gone too far. By studying them, we don't just learn about the animals, we learn about ourselves, who we are and who we are called to be. We too are a part of the intricate web of life that depends on clean water, healthy habitats and the balance of nature. The decline of a turtle, the thinning of an eggshell, the absence of a bird's call at dusk, these are not just losses, they are warnings. They are nature's quiet plea, asking us to pay attention and make changes on our journey before the waters and the skies fall silent.